on sustainable projects. Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman time check 7:32. This time check brought to you by our friends at Burger King.
Meanwhile, at the Burger King's castle.
These people demand cheese, underling.
Adding double cheese, sir.
Give me more.
Adding cheesy sauce, sir.
More!
Cheddar bun?
More!
The King has gone lactose insane. Introducing the new Cheese Lover King at Burger King. A cheese-covered double bacon Whopper with a side of creamy cheese sauce to dunk in. The Cheese Lover King is here for a limited time. Only at Burger King.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Friday, the 19th of June, June 19th, 2026, and we'll talk some more about June 19th in a second after these introductory words. So we hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road, because the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, and to remind you that For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. From generation to generation, Coca-Cola still a Cayman classic. Those of you who've lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. Once again, this morning we want to give a big shout out to our colleague here at Radio Cayman, Mr. Joel Wilson, as well. Also want to give a big shout out this morning to Mr. Tommy Ebanks of TCE Paint Shop as well. All the best to you, Mr. Tommy Ebanks, as well. So Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and by extension For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy and sometimes dangerous roads of the Cayman Islands. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open, but I'm going to ask you to hold off on any calls for now. But when you do call, we have a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990, WhatsApp number 925-3261. So first of all, we're going to look at the birthday shout-outs, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Juneteenth as well. So we see that birthday greetings going out today, and they're all coming from Saldine, Tishan, Echenike, celebrating a birthday, Josini Barnes also celebrating a birthday, and Dean Lenny celebrating a birthday. She has also informed us that Miss Dahlia Roberts, she will be celebrating her birthday on Sunday as well. So we want to thank Miss Aldine for sharing those with us. When we look on WhatsApp, we see that Jewel Studenhoff will be celebrating a birthday tomorrow. On Sunday, the 21st of June, as well as Miss Adonza Harrison. She will be celebrating her birthday as well. Folks, June 19th. For those of you who may not be familiar with it, it actually is an official it's the officially Juneteenth, National Independence Day. It is a federal holiday in the United States. It is celebrated annually on the 19th of June to commemorate the end of slavery in the United States. The holiday's name first used in the 1890s as portmanteau of June and 19th, referring to June 19th, 1865, the day when Major General Gordon Granger ordered the first enforcement of the Emancipation Proclamation, the Emancipation Proclamation in Texas at the end of the American Civil War. Another summary of June 19th. Freedom finally came on the 19th of June, 1865, when some 2,000 Union troops arrived in Galveston Bay, Texas. The Army announced that the more than 250,000 enslaved black people in the state were freed by executive decree. This day came to be known as Juneteenth by the newly freed people of Texas. So they're celebrating that in the United States today. And I think, all people around the world should celebrate and acknowledge that as well, because slavery, one of the greatest sins, one of the biggest sins of mankind, was perpetrated, and to a certain extent still being perpetrated, although it may be masked in a different form as well. Paul, what we're going to do, I'm going to come to you now. We're going to take that commercial break because I believe we're going to have our guests in the studio a little bit earlier. Folks, please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
Looking for the ultimate place to watch the world's biggest football tournament? Head to Legends Bar and Grill, Coca-Cola's headquarters for every match. It's the closest you'll feel to being at the games live, with Coca-Cola mixer specials all tournament long. Feel the energy and cheer on your favorite team surrounded by your country colors. Can't make it out? No problem. Order Legends' famous menu for home delivery and bring the match day experience to your living room. Legends Bar and Grill, your World Cup Coca-Cola headquarters.
Mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
CINWS parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through CINWS and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit cinws.ky today. CINWS, keeping Cayman covered.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Babe, not tonight. You keep poking me and I need to be rested for meetings tomorrow.
What? I was almost asleep. That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about, not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We will start with our guests after the 8 o'clock news. I'm going to still ask you to hold off on your phone calls. Those of you who were listening in on Wednesday morning would have heard one caller who called in to express his concerns and disgust, I would say, at the requirements for his wife's renewal of her BOTC passport, Cayman Islands, British Overseas Territories Citizens passport that says Cayman Islands on it, and the requirements that she needed to produce her old passport from another, from her country of origin. And he pointed out that she had already renewed her passport, I think, at least on 2 occasions. So I promised that I would try to find out exactly what the requirements are, even though I sort of had a general idea. I didn't get an opportunity to speak to anyone within the passport office, but I did go on the UK website, and they have issued guidance notes, which they do to the issuers of passports and also to the public as well. And this particular guidance note addresses the issue of names, aligning names on foreign documents accessible. And it says His Majesty's Passport Office guidance on how to deal with passport applications when the name a customer applies in does not match the name on their foreign documents. So it talks about names aligning to names on foreign documents. It says this guidance tells His Majesty's Passport Office operational staff how to deal with customers when their name on their passport application does not match the name on their foreign document. It tells staff what the customer must do before they issue them a passport. When we will consider issuing a passport using the name on a passport application, even if it does not match the name on that. Now, what that leads into really is the issue with declaring foreign passports. So this is guidance note number 4, declaring foreign passports. The UK allows its citizens, and now when they talk about UK and citizens, that includes British Overseas Territory citizens, because remember, being Caymanian is not a nationality. It is a particular form of status, right? We are British Overseas Territories citizens because we were formerly known as a colony, then we were known as dependent territories, then they tried to find a more palatable name, so they call us British Overseas Territory citizens. But at the end of the day, we still belong to the United Kingdom. So when they talk about the UK allowing its citizens, that includes British Overseas Territory citizens as well. It says the UK allows its citizens to hold dual nationality, although we do not tell other countries if a customer has dual nationality. We still ask them to declare any valid or expired passports when they apply for a British passport. And again, remember, British passport includes BOTC passport, Cayman Islands as well, right? So they recognize dual nationality. They do not tell the country that you're originally from that you have dual nationality, because some other countries may not allow for dual nationality. But you are asked on the application form to declare any valid, this is important, any valid or expired passport when they apply for a British passport. And they're not talking about British passport that expired before, they're talking about from another country. And it says, we do this for security reasons, like I pointed out on Wednesday as well. We do it to help us, that is the UK persons who are dealing with the application, to help them decide if the customer is entitled to a British passport. And we heard the caller speak to the fact that his wife had been naturalized as a British Overseas Territory citizen, and he felt that that recognition in itself should have been sufficient for the issuance of a passport. But the UK says that they ask for this information for security reasons. They also ask for it to decide whether or not the customer is entitled to a British passport. They also do it to confirm the customer's identity, and a lot of instances of identity theft. They also do it to identify any vulnerability concerns that they may have. And they do it also because they need to consider if the customer can apply for another foreign passport. I guess that would have something to do probably whether or not, if they were to be refused the passport, whether or not they would be rendered stateless. Well, no. Not sure about that. Anyway, then it goes on to say, regardless of how the customer, you can ask the caller to hold on for a second. Maybe I'll finish it before the time allows, and they may want to talk about something about this. Goes on to say, regardless of how the customer makes their passport application, we ask them to declare any other valid or expired passport at the time of the application. It is a criminal offense if a customer does not declare another passport if we find they have not. They may be subject to prosecution. We may cancel their British passport if they have one. And remember, British includes British Overseas Territory Citizen, Cayman Islands passport. I say also, we will also investigate the reasons and decide whether to refer them for a criminal investigation. Then it talks about digital application processing, where you can apply. Says this section tells His Majesty's Passport Office operational staff how to deal with applications on digital application processing, which have a foreign passport name alignment task to examine as the customer holds a foreign passport. And it goes on to tell them what they should do with that. And there's other guidance in relation to that. So on your application, you are asked whether or not you hold or you have held another passport of another nationality. If you have, then you have to honestly say yes. If you say yes, that is when they ask you then to provide, a copy of that. I found the passport office very helpful in telling you and giving advice in relation to how you get around this if it is a situation where you have never been to your country of birth or original nationality for years or for decades, and you don't have the ability to apply for a passport, then they will tell you what remedies are available for you or how you go about trying to work around that particular process as well. But it is quite, like I pointed out on Wednesday as well, these are not rules that are made by the passport office here. So please, folks, please do not blame them. They're there to try to give you guidance, to assist you in what needs to be done. And I know sometimes it can be frustrating. And as a result of your frustration, you may not really be listening to what they're trying to tell you and the guidance that they're trying to do. But they're always there at the passport office trying to be as helpful as possible. Let's grab that caller now, Paul. The call is gone. Okay. So that is extremely, extremely important, right? The passport office here, they have their guidance notes in terms of what to accept. And if they send it off without those things, then they're going to come back to you and say, this is what is necessary. It only means additional delays in the process. And one of the things that they need to do also is aligning the passport, the names on the foreign passport. And there could be reasons why a person may have changed their name, marriage or whatever. Then, of course, then you would provide a copy of the marriage certificate and things of that nature as well. But if you want to know more about this, you can go on to the UK Passport Office website, look for the guidance notes on the declaration of foreign passports and what needs to be done there as well in relation to that. So I hope and I trust that information that I have provided here proves to be helpful to any person who has encountered these. And while talking to someone on Wednesday as well, they also pointed out that the they've had situations where they have been assisting persons, and it took over 8 months because they had never been to their country of birth for a long period of time and would have to travel there to obtain a copy of a passport because they no longer had a copy of their old passport as well, not Cayman Islands passport, but from their country of birth, and it creates a huge headache. Now, you all also know my answer to all of this, and it is not as simple as I may make it out to be, but this is one of the obstacles that we will always face when we do not have control of our own destiny. When we don't have control of our own destiny, to be able to determine, first of all, design and hold our own passports for the Cayman Islands and have all of the powers, the authority to issue those passports as well. Of course, that can only come about if the United Kingdom decides that from a constitutional standpoint, they will give us, much more leeway in terms of our own affairs, or like they have said before, if you want to really control all of this, then you know the direction that you have to go. The dreaded I word that people don't like here in the Cayman Islands, you would have to go independent as well. Let me share something very quickly with you before we go to our 8 o'clock news. We see that here in the Cayman Islands, the first ever Summer Youth Parliament debate will take place. It will commence on Thursday, the 2nd of July, 2026 at 10 a.m. So members of the public, they are encouraged to attend and support your youth parliamentarians. So the first ever Summer Youth Parliament debate will commence on Thursday, the 2nd of July, 2026 at 10 a.m. With that, folks, we have reached that time, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, we will have the Director General of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, Mr. John TIBBETS, in the studio with us. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The state opening of Parliament is today, and you'll be able to catch it live right here on Radio Cayman starting at 2 p.m. Her Excellency, the Governor, will deliver the throne speech, after which it's expected the Premier will move a motion for the debate to be deferred until Tuesday. To facilitate the state opening, the police are advising you that there is a road closure in place along Fort Street between Seafarers Way and Edward Street. The planned closure will start at 1 p.m. and is expected to remain in effect through 3 o'clock.
This exercise reflects our ongoing commitment to preparedness, continuous improvement, and building national resilience.
Hazard management wraps a week of training and exercises, strengthening government's ability to, quote, lead, coordinate, and govern recovery efforts following a major disaster. HMCI Director Danny Coleman tells Radio Cayman the UK-based command training team worked with some 65 participants across government to test plans, sharpen decision-making, and deepen understanding of how the national emergency management systems transition from response to recovery.
By testing our recovery arrangements and challenging our leaders through realistic scenarios, we continue to strengthen our ability to support the Cayman Islands through any emergency, directly supporting our broader outcomes of good governance and public safety.
This year's exercise, Hurricane Franz, named in honor of retiring Deputy Governor the Honorable Franz Manderson, was based on a simulated Category 4 hurricane impacting the Cayman Islands. Cayman Enterprise City CEO Charlie Kirkconnell says a new assessment puts its total impact on the local economy at more than $1 billion since 2012.
This year's socioeconomic impact report demonstrates that Cayman Enterprise City is not only attracting global businesses to Cayman, but is also creating meaningful pathways for Caymanians to participate in the industries that are shaping the future.
The latest socioeconomic impact assessment prepared by economist Marla Dukaran reports that CEC and its special economic zone companies have generated a cumulative economic impact of $1.23 billion US.
Tourism and financial services have long been recognized as the Cayman Islands' two core economic pillars, but the data now shows that this story is incomplete. Cayman Enterprise City and the special economic zone companies that they serve have become a meaningful third economic pillar.
The report says CEC's 2025 impact alone was $152.3 million. And get lost in the music, follow the vibes as Spark Performing Arts hosts its end-of-year musical showcase featuring a live pit band at the Harkwell Theater. Music and storytelling to ensemble performances and special moments on stage, organizers say this year's show promises to be a memorable experience. The show opens tonight at 7 p.m. with performances tomorrow at 3 and 7 o'clock. For tickets, head to sparkkman.com. You can also purchase them at the door. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. Fighting has continued in Lebanon despite a peace agreement between the US and Iran that included an end to the hostilities there. Lebanese health officials said Israeli strikes in the south killed at least 18 people. Israel's army said it had killed dozens of operatives linked to the Iranian-backed group Hezbollah in attacks on 80 targets across Lebanon. It said 4 of its soldiers were also killed. Meanwhile, a new round of direct negotiations between the US and Iran that was due to start in Switzerland today has been postponed. In other news, the former Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham has said he'll lay out a new path for Britain after winning a parliamentary by-election that sets him up to challenge Keir Starmer's leadership. Mr Burnham told supporters in Makerfield there was a last chance to change and they were going to take it. The Afghan Defence Ministry says its Air Force carried out overnight attacks in Pakistan on what it described as hideouts of Islamist militants in Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Pakistan has denied its territory was hit. That's the latest world news from the BBC.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superhero shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Are you looking for more weekend getaways with Friday flights? Well, Cayman Airways has added Friday flights to Panama for a limited time this summer. They're perfect for short and long weekend getaways, quick business trips, or easy connections across Latin America. And if Jamaica is on your summer wish list, seasonal summer flights to Montego Bay are also available. Call Cayman Airways on 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com. See you on board our Friday flights to Panama this summer.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first. All right, good morning, Cayman. Let's hit you up with another weather update brought to you by our good friends at CG Britcay. Some cloud cover over Grand Cayman in some areas. Some areas are seeing some nice sunshine. Present temperature 84 degrees Fahrenheit, but the real feel sun on the back is at 96 degrees Fahrenheit.
Winds are out of the east at 4 miles per hour. Relative humidity 79%. The barometric pressure at 30.00 inches and now falling. Cloudiness with showers remain likely as a tropical wave moves across the south of the Cayman area. Improvement is expected this afternoon as it moves out of our area. Moderate winds with occasional gusts are likely, especially during showers. Radar imagery shows showers approaching Cayman-Bracknell, Cayman from the northeast, and a few cloudy patches still scattered around the Cayman area. Our forecast for today calls for cloudy spells with a 40% chance of showers and isolated thunder. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s with a heat index near 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be southeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, mainly during showers. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Later tonight, partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells with a 30% chance of overnight showers. Temperatures will fall to the low 80s. Winds will be southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. We're now in a low tide. High tide will be at 1:37 this afternoon. It's going to be low at 7:42 tonight and high at 2:01 tomorrow morning. Sunset later on this evening at 7:04, and the outlook is for an increase in showers on Saturday as another tropical wave is expected to move through the northwest Caribbean. Some dust haze may also be present over the weekend. And that, my friends, is your latest weather updates.
We were on the edge of a breakthrough. I knew the substance was extraterrestrial, but I didn't realize.
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long, the entire lab exploded, and the radioactive sludge went everywhere. I ended up in the hospital for a few weeks, but I was able to manage everything with the CG Online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britgay. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britgay, where people come first. Let's raise a glass for the dads. This Father's Day, join Mykonos Steak Club for the Clico Brunch, Sunday, June 21st from 11:30 a.m. Celebrate Dad with indulgent brunch favorites, signature specialties, premium drinks, free-flowing Veuve Clico, and the vibrant atmosphere Mykonos is known for. Enjoy the sounds of a live DJ and saxophone player as you toast to Dad, Grandpa, or the father figure who deserves it all. Packages start at just $75 CI per person. Call 623-5555 to reserve your table today for the Father's Day Clico Brunch at Mykonos Steak Club.
Radio Cayman Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
Brought to you by these kind sponsors.
The Cayman Islands Football Association, CIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Cayman Insurance Center.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call me today, Michael Webster, at 925-5433.
UWI Open Campus, on-site, online, and on demand.
Visit open.uwi.edu. Call them today at 946-8322.
And Coca-Cola, from generation to generation, still a Cayman classic.
The #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
All right, let's take a quick look at the traffic. Majority of the traffic has cleared up from the accident they had this morning around the King Sports Center area. Traffic is moving smoothly around the CUC roundabout. Looking at the east-west arterial, things are moving just as fine. Of course, getting to the Century 21 roundabout outside Hurley's, expect just a little bottleneck. Shouldn't be too bad. If it is, just let me know, yeah? Coming into the Georgetown area along the Linford Pearson on to Bobby Thompson Way, expect that traffic. And getting past the traffic lights onto Halder Avenue, we have some slow-moving traffic moving on to the CNB roundabout. Some going through Elgin Avenue, those continuing along Thomas Russell Way up to the Butterfield roundabout. And, of course, expect the usual slow traffic there. And once getting past the roundabout, things should start to pick up much better. Going through Godfrey Nixon Way to Eastern Avenue, things are looking fair to fine. North Sound Road heading east, just a little bit of traffic towards Dorsey Drive if we're continuing through the Industrial Park area. Light traffic coming off the SLE TIBBETS. And if you're trying to get up to West Bay via the SLE TIBBETS, expect the usual traffic build-up at the Cabana Bay roundabouts and the second roundabout just after Foster's or thereabouts, and traffic continues to flow much better. Heading to the eastern districts, you won't have much traffic to deal with as traffic is moving smoothly. If you're heading to North Side, East End or those areas, just the usual traffic buildup in the Georgetown area. West Bay Road seems fair to find. Traffic in West Bay just moderate as well. Seafarers Way, most streets in Georgetown will see some stop-and-go traffic in some instances, but things seems to be moving fair to fine. Cayman Brackville, Cayman, things moving smoothly on your side. That is your traffic report for this Friday. Enjoy the weekend and stay safe out there. Traffic report brought to you by our good friends at Subway.
Start your year off right with Subway's Fresh Fit menu. 4 protein-packed subs with 20 grams or more protein, under 500 calories, and loaded with full servings of crisp veggies on hearty multi-grain bread. Try the grilled chicken and avocado, the ham and turkey stacker, the seasoned steak and avocado, or the turkey and ranch delight. Big flavor, plenty of protein, and fresh veggies in every bite. Fuel your day the Fresh Fit way. Only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. The club continues to host successful community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, free site screening in schools, spelling bee, swim meets, and their community pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service for many years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise customers of a planned leak assessment in the Georgetown area. To facilitate the work, customers on following roads will experience intermittent service from Wednesday 17th June to Friday 19th June 2026 between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. while Water Authority Cayman crews conduct a leak assessment on site. Melody Lane, Harmony Lane, Rhythm Lane, Ella Ray Gardens, Music Close, Birchwood Road, Cornwood Lane, Cornwall Lane, Cranbrook Drive. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it repairs its infrastructure and apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to introduce in the studio with me this morning none other than Mr. John TIBBETS, the Director General of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. No stranger to the studio, no stranger to the people of the Cayman Islands for the sterling service that is rendered by our National Weather Service here in the Cayman Islands. So, Mr. TIBBETS, good morning. Welcome again to For the Record.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be back.
Okay. So, why don't we start off by telling us what the current weather situation is and anything that may be in the forecast?
Well, for right now, everything is a bit on the quiet side. Mm-hmm. We do have some daytime showers and possible thunder likely in the forecast. And, of course, everybody's starting to feel that heat of that summer coming in and what have you. We do have some wind speeds are up in a moderate level, 10 to 15 knots. Cool it a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's not going to hide you too much from that temperature that's building outside.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Anything on the Sahara dust situation?
Everything fairly, it's a bit on the quiet side right now. There are some surges coming across, but the ones that are within the next 4 or 5 days appear to be not up to the level of too much concern, as it were.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What are your observations in relation to rainfall? It just, from the untrained eye, it appears as if we so far are below what we the amount of rainfall that we normally have. Would you agree with that?
Well, I don't have the actual stats on hand for me right now. I apologize for that part. However, the early part of the year is quite misleading because the early part of the year, first of all, is the dry season anyway. Okay, and the crazy part about it is that how, let's say, January through March works basically is that if you don't get a decent rain-producing cold front, you're going to have a dry month. So, and really and truly, we really haven't had too much tropical generated showers too much so far. So the rainfall numbers should be on the low side.
Can you explain to our listening and viewing audience what El Nino and La Nina is all about and the effect that it has on weather patterns?
The El Nino and La Nina system is it's a global pattern, and the pattern itself is basically centered over the mainly over the eastern Pacific Ocean. And in one phase, the La Nina phase, the sea surface temperatures are colder than normal.
Okay.
And in the other phase, it's an El Nino, it's warmer than normal. So if the El Nino is in effect, as we have this year, we usually expect a lot of tropical systems in the eastern Pacific Ocean and kind of a dampening effect in the Atlantic basin. Okay, so when I heard that we were going to have a very strong El Nino for this season, I knew that the seasonal forecast for hurricanes and stuff like that had to be lower than normal.
Okay. And can we talk about that? What the predictions are in terms of the lower than normal activity for hurricanes this season?
Okay. Well, the predictions right now are for 11 named storms. This is coming out of Colorado State. It's their updated prediction for that was released in June. So they're saying that you're going to have 11 named storms. A regular season would have 14. They say we're going to have 5 hurricanes. A regular season normally has just over 7 hurricanes. Okay. And then they're saying that you're going to have 2 major hurricanes. Regular seasons, we have about 3 hurricanes, 3 major hurricanes. So we are predicting to have a below average season, as it were.
Okay. Let's talk about the National Weather Service itself and the role that your department plays not only as in relation to hazard management, but also the other services that are provided by the National Weather Service here in the Cayman Islands.
Okay.
And I know when you were here last, we spoke about history, of the National Weather Service and what it originally was designed, for, and what it has matured into to this point.
So I think, first of all, there's one very quick and simple realization, and that's weather affects everybody.
Yep.
You can't hide from that. However, when you're talking about stakeholders and the focus of the Weather Service, it gets interesting because its birthplace is as an aviation office. All right. And aviation is still very important to us. When you realize that every single hour we've got to take a weather observations, otherwise your flights can't take off and land in Grand Cayman that come from overseas. Okay, we've also got to produce aviation forecasts. All right, and those are different than your standard public forecast. You might hear Ms. Dosey say something like partly cloudy skies. You know what I mean? In the National Weather Service, our aviation forecast would say we have scattered clouds at 1,800 feet.
Okay.
So it's written a bit different, and it's written specific for aviation. However, when we started, so back in about 2010 is when the National Weather Service was actually officially recognized as the National Weather Service. And we have been, we've been slowly picking up extra responsibilities, and the use of the National Weather Service is becoming more wider across community. Additionally, once we moved into under the Cabinet Office, the idea basically is that they moved both Hazards Management, Cayman Islands, and the National Weather Service under there. And both of those two departments work very, very close together. A lot of what we do have to do with them. All right. I mean, you're starting to see now they're more involved with, let's say, marine warnings, flood warnings, and things like that. And back in the day, the National Weather Service would issue those things, but there was never an agency to deal with it. Okay. So the National Weather Service and Hazards Management are kind of locked at the hip. Works very well that they're both in the Cabinet Office. Big shout out to Cabinet Secretary Samuel Rose for all his support. Big shout out to Ms. Cassandra Morris for all of her great work that she's been doing with the National Weather Service.
Okay. And at one point in time, we didn't have, for instance, a Coast Guard.
Correct.
And I would imagine that entities like the Cayman Islands Coast Guard now would also rely on your forecasts and predictions coming through your office as well?
We do work with them on occasion and what have you. However, one of the things that you got to be careful of with regards to meteorology, and that is meteorology is readily available. It's kind of like if you want to go fishing tomorrow, you don't necessarily, you're not, we would love you to be looking at the National Weather Service website and look at our forecast and what have you, and look at our marine products. But there are a lot of other places you can get that weather information. Now, have we worked with the Coast Guard in the past and everything? Yes, we have, and stuff like that. But is it kind of a day-to-day type relationship like with hazards management? Not quite the same.
And based on what you said, you really happy with that alignment of the hazard management or hazards management and the National Weather Service. Perfect alignment, because rather than working you're working collaboratively as opposed to, cross purpose.
Yeah, and I'm also left somebody out. All right, and I know hazards management and the National Weather Service are the tip of the spear, as it were. But let's not also forget the communications team. All right, because a ton of work have been completed where the three of those entities have sat down and worked out a whole new warning system and working out on communications of how we display and things and how we're getting the message out to the public. And of course, communications team's also in with the Cabinet Office.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Yeah. So.
And we have seen, a huge improvement, as far, as communications and getting things out there as quickly as possible. Extremely, extremely important.
Yeah, I'll also big up one of my own staff, Mr. Shamal Clark. Mr. Shamal Clark is a manager within the Weather Service, and he has been our lead officer with regards to communications and what have you. And he's the one that was one of those that was very instrumental in working with the comms team and a lot of the stuff that they've done. And that includes even the design of our new website and everything.
Okay, so while we're on that, can you give us a sort of a picture of the hierarchy of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. And I know later on, we're going to talk about careers in the National Weather Service as well. And I believe you hinted before in terms of your upcoming, retirement as well. And we can talk about that. But let's start off with the hierarchy.
Okay. So the National Weather Service is at the very top end is run by the Director General of the National Weather Service. He is generally referred to as the Director General because he not only has responsibilities for meteorology, but he also has earthquakes and tsunamis under his purview and what have you. So that's generally speaking why the Director General fancy title gets there. His second in charge is the Chief Meteorologist.
Okay.
And then it's kind of a mixed bag after that in terms of generally some forecasters and observers. However, in recent years, we've had a plan with some more mid-level managers. Mr. Shamal Clark was one of the first 4 mid-level managers. Now, the Cabinet Office has worked on having an assessment of the organization carried out by the UK Weather Service, where that's been completed now, and the report the kind of draft report has come back and what have you. They will look on it and they'll decide on what's gonna happen going forward. Okay, however, I can say this, and as the outgoing director right now, the National Weather Service, just as we said earlier, we have the responsibilities for the Weather Service is wide and varied. Our stakeholders are everybody, every entity, everything. You can't get away from it. And the structure that will have to satisfy that organization needs to have in it contingencies to be able to handle some of those stakeholders. Okay? For example, maybe the same person that handles with marine conditions does not necessarily the same person that would deal with agriculture. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because we do put out some agricultural type forecasts and what have you as well. Okay. Marine, as I mentioned right now, is something that is we have had marine forecasts in there from the get-go. However, in the world of meteorology, there's been a recent drive towards marine services within National Weather Services. So, and we will notice that even here in the Cayman Islands, we've been starting to get a lot more audits now for marine services.
Okay.
All right. So that's something that's coming up the road. They'll have to the organization and Cabinet Office and whoever will have to make a decision on how those services are carried out and to what level of importance they are in the organization. And you're going to know the level of importance just by the simple form, by how the structure is in the organization, in all fairness.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. On the other side of this commercial break, we want to talk about careers within the Cayman Islands National Weather Service as well. Folks, the voice that you're hearing there is the voice of Mr. John TIBBETS, the Director General of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. We will continue our conversation with him as soon as we return from this short commercial break.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us on this segment of For the Record, we are having a discussion with the Director General of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, Mr. John TIBBETS. We've covered several topics so far. We're going to talk about careers within the National Weather Service. Just before that, we were talking about the structure, the hierarchy within the Cayman Islands National Weather Service as well. Mr. TIBBETS.
Okay. So when you're looking at the National Weather Service, there's a decent variation in jobs in there. There are those jobs which are directly along core meteorology responsibilities, and then there's support services. Okay, don't want to belittle the support services. They are very critical to the organization, and those support services includes our administrative office that processes payments and helps with human resources and a bunch of other stuff, as it were. Another important section of the support services right now is our technical maintenance group. Okay, who again, they're not, as I said, they're not qualified meteorologists, but the National Weather Service have a lot of meteorological equipment, requires a lot of technological and IT support, and so we actually have a technical office, and that support run by Mr. Michael Carey, who has been with us pretty much from the start when we got the weather radar, for example, and he is the one that who is big up in ensuring that the weather radar works. Okay, and anytime it breaks down, he's the one that has to go and try to get it working. Okay. All right. Not everything is on his shoulders, however, because please realize that the weather radar is a very complex system. And it's in a building. Right now, you've been noticing some outages on the radar. And that's not the radar, believe it or not. Okay. That's the air conditioning unit to cool the radar. That's where a lot of our problems have been coming recently. So, and of course, Mr. Carey, his radar training, he's not an air conditioning expert. So it's not something that it's something that he ensures that tries to get it done. Okay. So those are the main support services. In terms of the National Weather Service, getting in the door is usually as a trainee weather observer.
Okay.
Okay. You don't go to high school to become a qualified weather observer. All right. The best way to get to become a trained weather observer, get hired by the National Weather Service so the National Weather Service can send you to the appropriate training facility to become qualified as a weather observer. When you get those qualifications, while the Cayman Islands government will have some measure of wanting to recoup their funds for investing in you, those qualifications are valid throughout right across the world where you could go work as a weather observer elsewhere. Okay? Once you've worked in the National Weather Service for a while, we move, the weather observer position is called the Meteorological 4 observer. Okay? We have like a senior position to it. It's called the Meteorological Observer 3. Now, the Meteorological Observer 3 gets to be very interesting because it is at this point that you're starting to do your first set of branching out. So a Meteorological Observer 3 could be an instruments technician. He could be a climate expert. He could be an agro-meteorologist. Okay? So there's a bunch of different things he can do. Okay? And strangely enough, we actually only have one of those right now. And that's because a lot of people are moving up to getting up as quick as they can to the forecasting ranks.
Okay.
All right. So the forecasting ranks is in 2 different levels. A Meteorological Forecaster 2, which is the basic operational forecaster. And then the other one is a Meteorologist 1, okay, which is a senior forecaster.
Okay.
All right. And in the world of meteorology, a meteorologist means that you have to have usually means that you have to have a bachelor's degree or you've got a very extensive amount of experience. All right. So our basic forecasters are trained in the Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology in Barbados, the regional training center. But we also have options with the UK Met Office, and there's also some online courses you can do with universities. So, for example, Mississippi State University has a bachelor's, it has a master's, and it has what they call a certificate program. The certificate program is the basic operational forecasting. Okay. Once you get above that position, and then you get to the upper level leadership of the organization, and at this particular point, we've got 3 of them. We've got a manager for research and communication. We've got the chief meteorologist, and then we've got the director general himself. Okay? And those positions are usually based on high-level qualifications and years of experience. Okay? In terms of getting in the entrance into the weather service, we usually look for a math and physics and English, those 3 subjects.
Okay.
To give you an idea how important math is in the course, in the grand scheme of things with the weather service, my basic forecaster course was 18 months long in Barbados. 16 of it is mathematics.
Wow.
Okay? By the time you finish with that course, you pretty much have a bachelor's degree in mathematics by itself. So you'll have to add a few things, but you're pretty close there. While it is a science, but it is usually people usually get an exposure to it first from the subject of geography. And when I was in high school, there's 2 places you found geography, and that was when you're doing O-level geography or A-level geography. So, however, while there have been a lot of fusses over the years, geography is not a requirement for the job position. Geography provides certain basic understandings, like under A-level geography, you look at climate fields and stuff like that, and world climate patterns and stuff like that. But you also do some analysis that can be used in meteorology and what have you. You also do things like recognitions of clouds and what have you. So that's usually where it's exposed to, but it's not required.
Will enhanced artificial intelligence change the way that some of these things are approached, and even the qualifications that may be required?
You know, when you're usually talking about AI and stuff like that, the tip of the iceberg in some sort of way are some of the weather models and some of the changes they've had in them and stuff like that. I remember back in, I guess it's in the very early 90s or something like that, or even the late 80s, we had a weather system workstation called the Star Force system. And the Star Force system had the display for a few weather models on certain things. So it would show me what a surface chart looks like for 7 a.m. this morning or something like that. And then you would have to go into the programming and get further out modeling and stuff like that. However, when you get further along now and you get into the modern age now, you get the likes of Mr. Shamal Clark, who is really into working with the modeling and working with AI and everything else like that. It is, I would say it's the future, but that might be a mistake because it's here already. So, and I think we've got people in our organization that certainly have the potential to help the organization be led in that direction as well.
Okay. So the persons who would question those who watch TV or, other streaming services, and they see these weather forecasters there all dressed up and, with their click buttons and stuff like that. The question would be, are they real, meteorologists, or are they just weather reporters?
Well, when you go up into like the United States and you watch a television show, and I don't want to sound like I'm biased against other places and stuff like that, but let's just take the United States. When you get on those television stations, some of the people that are working on those television shows that are presenting the meteorology side of things have masters and PhD in meteorology. Okay. However, one of the things that you're going to find is that there are two things to note about it. First thing is that if your career in meteorology is not usually brought up from the base foundation, understanding weather observing and where it fits in, and some of the basic concepts of weather observing in clouds and thunder showers and what have you, and you just get out of school and you've gone straight to university, in a kind of way you're cheating a bit of the path work, okay? And you look at things a little bit differently. The second part, and it is because you weren't built from that foundation in some ways, is that there are a lot of meteorologists that are online and on television shows and what have you. When you hear them produce the weather forecast, I'm not here to attack how they present it. That's not my expertise, as it were. However, what my concern is that a lot of times they go strictly according to what the weather model says. And believe it or not, the weather model can be, and a lot of times are wrong. Okay? Now, what Mr. Powery and Mr. Clark is bringing along with the National Weather Service is a much more in-depth and pronounced way of producing a forecast. And that's by looking at some of the basic analysis and then comparing weather models to get to a final consensus of what wants produced in the forecast. I will dare say also is that whenever you're having a significant weather event in the Cayman Islands that's coming up or has already started and what have you, the forecasts and the warnings are usually not just left to the individual.
Okay.
It's usually more of a team, but is highly influenced by some of the upper echelons of the Weather Service in terms of meteorologists.
Okay, with that, we're going to take a commercial break. On the other side of this break, again, we're going to talk about the new headquarters for the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, and we want to get a little suss into Mr. TIBBETS' retirement, his plans for the future, and what we can expect from the Cayman Islands National Weather Service as well. So, folks, don't change that dial for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
CINWS parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through CINWS and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit CINWS.ky today. CINWS, keeping Cayman covered.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Did you know there are over 100 Adventist-owned businesses right here in the Cayman Islands? Adventist entrepreneurs are making a powerful impact across Cayman. Join us on Sunday, June 28th at 2 p.m. at the Lion Center, Grand Cayman for the ASI Cayman Business and Career Expo. Explore products and services, enjoy exclusive discounts, free samples, giveaways, and exciting prizes. Need a wellness check? Enjoy free health screenings and relaxing massage therapy. Thinking about your future career? Young people, students, and job seekers, whether you're looking to grow your business, plan your future, network with professionals, or simply enjoy a great community event, this is the place to be. Admission is absolutely free. The ASI Cayman Business and Career Expo. Showcase, connect, succeed. Sunday, June 28th, 2 p.m. at the Lion Center. For more information, visit asicayman.interamerica.org.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Before I go back to my guest, we've been asked to send out birthday greetings to Aaliyah McLaughlin, coming from your grandparents, Roy and Trudy. So Aaliyah McLaughlin, happy birthday to you. And those birthday greetings are coming from your grandparents, Roy and Trudy. So we have Mr. John TIBBETS, the Director General of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, in the studio with us. He's going to be with us, until 9:15. So we're going to talk about the new headquarters, and we're going to talk about other projects. We're going to talk about his upcoming retirement and, where he goes from there as well. Mr. TIBBETS.
Okay, so the National Weather Service have a number of projects that are online. The leading one of those is the construction of the National Weather Service building, the headquarters. Mm-hmm. On the documentation, I've referred to it as the Cayman Islands National Weather Service Operations and Research Center. Okay. We are basically on the verge of the completion of that building. and moving into it as an operational center, which we are hoping to do in the next month or two. Okay. Unfortunately for me, even though it's been a dream of mine for a long, long time, I will not be sticking around too much longer afterwards. I'm hoping to complete my retirement probably within the next couple of months.
Okay.
So that's project number one. That building is going to provide the National Weather Service a facility for which we can run and operate a 24-hour shift, and we can deliver all the services that the National Weather Service is designed to do. All right. The building will start. One of the things about the building that you need to understand is that the building is not one of those that you lock up during the passage of a major hurricane. That building has to be operational during the passage of a major hurricane, and there are staffing that have to be present inside that building during that time. Additionally, we need things like a larger area to do some of our services, in particular the technical department and general observing and forecasting services. So when we get it and we move into it, the National Weather Service staff and organization will finally have a home, as it were. And it's been long, long in coming. Additionally, we've got a number of projects that have been spearheaded through the Cabinet Office. I've already mentioned Ms. Cassandra Morris. She's the brilliant mastermind of sorts behind a lot of them. And they include things like a network of automatic weather stations. This was a dream of mine when I took over as the director in 2014. However, it's just getting to being a realization now with the installation of four robust automatic weather stations around the island. Additionally, one of the other things I wanted to push was, because I saw Marine Services coming, was a number of buoys. All right, so one of the projects that Ms. Cassandra and the team worked on was a number of storm surge sensors. Some of those are in the form of buoys. And it comes at an interesting time because the Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology are also rolling out a project where every one of the member states were getting 3 buoys.
Okay.
So all those are on island right now, ready for installation. So those are coming fairly quickly as well. All right. Additionally, we've done things like design website, enhanced warning and communication system. There's a bunch of things that's been going on within the Weather Service. Earthquakes and tsunamis is expected to be coming National Weather Service way. How that's going to look like, they'll have to figure that part out.
Okay, we have a caller. Let's grab that caller before we go to... Oh, the caller dropped? Okay. One of our listeners wrote and said, what do you think, asks Mr. Tibbetts what he thinks about Mr. Weatherman.
Mr. Weatherman?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar with it.
So Mr. Weatherman has advanced qualifications in meteorology. And he is, obviously, he is utilizing weather models themselves to produce a weather forecast.
Okay.
All right. He doesn't have the authority to issue warnings for the Cayman Islands. Okay. But he can go as far as saying things like he's expecting rough seas, for example. All right. Or he's expecting a lot of rainfall. He's not supposed to issue like the warnings for flood warnings and stuff like that. Those responsibilities lie between hazards management and the National Weather Service.
And what if he were to exceed those boundaries?
Oh, I don't know. I know that I only know that they don't have the legal right to do it. Okay. However, I can. As a meteorologist, I can look at and see what he's presenting and what have you. I do at times have concerns where I know he's got quite a following, and my concerns are only along the lines of when things get critical here with flood warnings and with other weather warnings that we're going to issue, who is the public listening to?
Yeah, I wanted you to get to that.
And who are they going to respond to? Take it for, let's say for argument's sake, say that we have a situation, and it'd be very unusual, but let's say for argument's sake, we've got a storm coming, and the National Weather Service tells you that tropical storm force winds are coming at 10 a.m. this morning, but Mr. Weatherman came and says, nah, they're not coming until 10 p.m. tonight or something like that. Who are you listening to? And that is very important, because how are you going to respond? Okay? Are you going to listen to your local National Weather Service when they say that you have certain conditions coming in, or are you going to listen to another source? And that's something that Hazards Management, National Weather Service, and other disaster management entities in the Cayman Islands have been pounding on for a long time, the source of the information.
Another listener has written in and said, this is a two-part. Where is the new building located? And also they point out, in forecasting of the weather, a variety of words are being used that are not familiar. One is gradient. Shouldn't the wording be kept familiar to the populace?
Okay. So let's start with the simple one. Simple one. The location of the National Weather Service building, next to Jose's gas station and behind the traffic department. You'll see a lovely building design there. If you go drive by there now, you'll see the facility is still kind of opened up with the gates and stuff like that. And that's because we're finalizing some things. But that is the headquarters for the National Weather Service going forward. Okay? Number two, terminology within the weather forecasting realm and what have you. I come from a background where in our forecasting we were taught to keep things very, very simple, not be too wordy with our forecast and what have you. But as time has gone by, we've through work with the comms team and other entities and stuff like that, they've expanded some of the vocabulary and the depth of what we're talking about. I might just say it's isolated showers in my old synopsis, and there may be more details in it in the more modern day forecast and what have you. While I understand that some of the terminologies are a bit strange to us and maybe a bit difficult to understand at times, we'd hope that as the Weather Service rolls out some of its public education programs, that some of this can be handled a little bit better. In the interim, I will have some conversations with my chief Met to just be a bit careful with some of the terminology. You do not want to get a weatherman talking without kind of tying his tongue. All right, because when we get to some of when we talk about Coriolis and vorticity and all other kind of stuff, it would confuse things. And then the problem is that part of what the Weather Service wants you to do is that when we tell you things, this is what the weather's going to be, then the natural next step is some sort of response. Now, if it's a sunshiny day, you might go like, hey, I'll just drive and work fine. But what happens if on that sunshiny day you go, hey, nice day to go sit down out on the beach, enjoy a day in the sea? Okay, it's a response. Okay, if it's flood warnings, heavy rainfall event and stuff like that, maybe your kids that are going to school, maybe they carry boots. Maybe they carry an extra raincoat or something like that. So there's a response, okay? Now, if when we send out the forecast, we complicate things and confuse the message, all right, then we interfere with that response.
Certainly, yeah. Okay. We're going to go to our headline news at 9 o'clock, folks. Please stay tuned. Mr. TIBBETS will be with us for another 15 minutes after that. For the record, we'll be back shortly. Let me try. This person wanted me to call her. Let me see if I can get this call.
Yesterday. Today.
Always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Join the University College of the Cayman Islands this afternoon as it celebrates academic excellence, leadership, and achievement at the UCCI chapter of the Sigma Beta Delta International Honor Society induction ceremony. At 4 p.m. at Sir Vassal Johnson Hall, UCCI will recognize an exceptional group of students, graduates, and alumni whose, quote, dedication, hard work, and commitment to excellence have earned them this distinguished honor. In international news, at least 18 people have been killed in southern Lebanon following a series of Israeli airstrikes overnight, according to the country's health ministry, while the Israeli military says 4 of its soldiers were also killed. The Israel Defense Forces said it struck 80 targets linked to the Iran-backed group Hezbollah and killed dozens of its members. It comes a day after the U.S. and Iran signed a deal aimed at ending the conflict in the Middle East, including a permanent cessation of hostilities in Lebanon. And in the UK, a 3-year-old boy critically injured in a zoo enclosure was attacked by a crocodile. Cambridgeshire police say a 30-year-old man arrested on suspicion of attempted murder following the incident has now been bailed and was, quote, unfit for interview. The boy was attacked by at least one crocodile after ending up in the enclosure. He remains in critical but stable condition. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Your Cayman Islands Health Services Authority has been the national healthcare provider of the Cayman Islands for many generations. We have elevated our level of care to ensure you, our patients, have the best possible experience. We offer better access to care close to home with the most locations on all 3 islands, delivering a full range of primary, secondary, tertiary, and emergency care. HSA is a JCI accredited organization, and we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us in the studio with us, Mr. John TIBBETS, the Director General of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. Just looking to see if we have any more questions or comments. Okay, yeah, this person just said that they watch Mr. Weatherman on their phone, as well. But I think it is important for you in terms of what you've pointed out as well, that you want to rely really on what's coming from the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, because there's a system that you have in place, also a collaboration that you have with the National Weather Service in the United States as well, that helps in terms of your prediction, especially when it's a hurricane.
Are we live?
We live?
Yeah, we're live. Okay.
My apologies on that. One of the other things that wasn't captured in there is the familiarity with the area in terms of how meteorology works and some of the drivers. Okay, that's like, for example, our meteorologists know that there are certain times of the year where thunderstorms build up over Cuba, and if it has the right upper level winds set up, those thunderstorms in the late evenings and into the night are driven south towards the Cayman area. As they're driven south, now they weaken. Obviously, they're not the big heavy thunderstorms that are seen over Cuba, but there are numerous times that this is a weather-producing situation for the Cayman Islands. Now, if you're not a forecaster that's down here and that's familiar with that process, how are you going to capture it in the forecast? Okay, and that's just one of the examples. There's a lot of other little intricacies in forecasting within the Cayman area that the meteorologists at the National Weather Service know about, and it has influenced their forecast over the years. And that sometimes goes beyond what the weather model says.
Okay, and I know you want to go back and talk a little bit more about careers as well.
Well, I think I just wanted to touch bases on one particular area. In terms of the National Weather Service, we actually have meteorological data like temperatures, dew point, humidity, rainfall that goes all the way back to the 1950s, because we've incorporated the data from the former U.S. Cooperative Hurricane Up Air Station. Shout out to the team that was there under the late Mr. Frank Rolston. Excellent job that they did over the years. With all of that data, within the National Weather Service, we have a very large database. Okay. And when we're getting these new automatic weather stations, when we're getting these new storm surge sensors and what have you, all that data is going to be incorporated into a huge database. Okay? Now, that database is used in the world in other ways. One place that is sometimes not recognized is the field of climate studies and climate change. Okay? In the National Weather Service office, we have a climate branch. It is headed up by a brilliant lady by the name of Miss Carrie Forbes. And she makes sure all the data is accurate and make sure all the long-term averages are in place and all the variations and what have you. All right? But what I wanted to point out basically is that in some places in the world, that climate office breaks off from the National Weather Service office, and it actually becomes a climate organization. And you will hear about some organizations like that some of these scientists go into and work into in the climate change field. So when we're hearing about all of this big hoopla about climate change and about global warming and all this kind of stuff, the foundation for that is in the weather services, is in meteorology. In fact, when they're looking at that data, the data that is regarded as the highest quality data is the data from out of the National Weather Service office. That's not taken by an automatic weather station, but it's taken by a qualified observer. That is the highest quality data. So one of the careers in meteorology, believe it or not, is a spillover into climate change.
Okay.
All right. We also hear things about, in fact, having large insurance companies actually hires meteorologists to do some of their threats and assessment and stuff like that to drive some of their insurance policies. So there's wide swaths of careers all around the world in the weather service in meteorology with the meteorological background. It's just that sometimes we don't sit down and think about all of them.
So, Mr. Tibbetts, throughout your illustrious career, you have seen the Cayman Islands National Weather Service grow from strength to strength. Tell us about that. Give us a picture of when you joined and what the way that you will leave it. I know that's going to take more than 4 minutes, so you're going to be here until
y'all want to settle down? Any popcorn? Well, when you look at the history of weather in the Cayman Islands and what have you, and the Developing Weather Office, I mean, when we looked at, by the time Hurricane Gilbert came across in '88, it was just me and Fred there by that time, but they continued to build it step by step and brick by brick in the organization. And now as we're getting ready to move into the building, my Chief Met looks at me and he says, John, we're going to have to use your office some storage. We're bringing in, I can't remember what it was, like 20 or 30 monitors or something like that, for the building.
Okay.
And I'm sitting and just going back to when we all started, and there was one computer one monitor with a little computer on it that was, I believe, shared between us and Aeronautical Information Services and stuff like that. Most of the stuff that we got was through teleprinters, right? And you tear off paper off the teleprinters and take the information and file it away, or plot charts or something with it. So there are quite a number of changes that have gone on, and especially in the technical field.
In those days, you were located in the same building that the observation tower for
air traffic control tower.
Yeah.
No,
you were still in the old weather station.
No, there's my first office. The first office that they had with the Developing Weather Office was what is now the technical office that is right downstairs at air traffic control tower.
Okay.
All right. And that room was divided into two. The weather service, me and Mr. Sample were on one side, and the Aeronautical Information Services, the assistants to the air traffic controllers, were on the other side. So, and then we moved from there to, I think it was the Cayman Airways office there by the customs warehouse. And then somebody came up with a brilliant idea of repurposing the old U.S. Upper Air Station and building a general aviation terminal around it. And that's kind of where we're at right now. But we've had, you can have like a checkbox and say, does the National Weather Service have an operational office? Yes. Okay, but when you go into the office and see how crowded we've become, and when we look at developing policies, international policies with regards to what are the kind of conditions a weather observer is supposed to work under, what drove one of the driving forces behind us getting behind the National Weather Service building was an audit in 2015 by the Civil Aviation Authority. And they looked on it, and the problem is that according to international regulations, our weather observers are supposed to be able to see 3/4 of the horizon. My staff only had one window looking out of the side at the side of the hangar for Cape Island Air. That was what our visibility was like, and that was completely inadequate. And so once that audit went out, it drove us towards getting. And then, of course, there were a bunch of other points that were developed. The Developing Weather Service, how could we develop under such a crowded situation that we're in right now? And then the General Aviation Terminal was built around the old U.S. Upper Air Station. And if you don't know about the operations, when we were doing our weather balloons, the gas we put in is hydrogen, which is a bit dangerous to deal with. All right, and as over time that's been a safety hazard that CIAA and the National Weather Service have had to work around. Now, when we move over to the new building, those safety concerns would be addressed, and it'll be a much better setup than it is currently.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break, folks. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Curbs Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Curbs Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Let's raise a glass for the dads. This Father's Day, join Mykonos Steak Club for the Clico Brunch, Sunday, June 21st from 11:30 a.m. Celebrate Dad with indulgent brunch favorites, signature specialties, premium drinks, free-flowing Veuve Clico, and the vibrant atmosphere Mykonos is known for. Enjoy the sounds of a live DJ and saxophone player as you toast to Dad, Grandpa, or the father figure who deserves it all. Packages start at just $75 CI per person. Call 623-5555 to reserve your table today for the Father's Day Clico Brunch at Mykonos Steak Club.
Grow your business with Breeze 105.3 FM and Radio Cayman. From spot packages to full campaigns, we've got rates that fit your budget and your goals. Email our sales team today, rcsales@gov.ky. That's rcsales@gov.ky. Let's get your message on air and reach listeners who trust us every day.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I keep moving the goalposts a little bit in terms of Mr. TIBBETS' stay in the studio, but there's so much important information, also very interesting, as well, that we want to continue that conversation. I just also want to remind our listening and our viewing audience that Radio Cayman will be bringing you live coverage of the state opening of Parliament starting at 2 p.m. Today, where Her Excellency Governor Jane Owen will be delivering the traditional throne speech. Broadcasts can be heard on Breeze 93.9 FM. I believe that would be, is that just for the sister islands? We know that 105.3 FM here in Grand Cayman as well. But the point is, we will be carrying it live right here on Radio Cayman starting at 2 p.m. this afternoon. So we have Mr. TIBBETS, the outgoing Director General of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, in the studio with us. A couple more things I want to discuss: the importance of Cayman Islands and being its membership and involvement with regional and international institutions. And also, you mentioned the radar, and we know, oops, sorry folks, that was my iPad. We also know that the current radar that we have is, again, a collaboration, a sponsorship by the European Union, even though the Cayman Islands did have to have some skin in the game as well in terms of the contribution that we made. And that was set up as a link throughout the Caribbean and to fill that gap, that black hole that was there, and whether or not, what do we look beyond that? We know that the radar has been upgraded. Is there any possibility that the radar may change in the future? Do we have to rely on the European Union, or is it something that we here in the Cayman Islands can do ourselves and still have that link, that connection with the other jurisdictions?
Okay, that's a lot of mouthful.
Yeah.
So, National Weather Service, the Cayman Islands government got together with Caribbean Meteorological Organization, and the Cayman Islands government got together to push an initiative to have a weather radar installed in the Cayman Islands. Okay, one of the problems with the situation that we had was that the Cayman Island, the Northwest Caribbean is a breeding ground for major Category 5 hurricanes. And as much data as they can get, as meteorologists in the National Hurricane Center and everybody else can get, would be a weather radar from the Cayman Islands. Now, I know that when we were when we were getting our weather radar, there was a lot of back talk by a lot of so-called experts on and looking at it and going, says, well, some of the radars from Cuba collects the Cayman Islands. Okay. And I will say that to you guys, I'll say this. First of all, the Cuban weather radars at that particular time were not of the quality that the radar that we in the Cayman Islands had. Now, I'm not sure how Cuba's radar program has gone, but one of the real problems that you had with it is that the Grand Cayman radar basically scans at its lowest level, basically parallel to the horizon. So it goes all the way down to zero elevation. Okay, in fact, it may even be able to go down below that. However, because of the terrain in Cuba, those radars are pointed up at a bit of a higher angle. Now, why that's important is because when you point a radar up higher on a higher angle, you limit how far out the radar can see. Okay. The other thing with it is that because of the curvature of the Earth, the beam is continually going higher in the atmosphere. So when we look at, for example, when we look in our radar for the Cayman Islands, and we look at an area of thunderstorms over Grand Cayman and an area of thunderstorms over the sister islands, to our meteorologists, that means something totally different. Because the ones that are here near Grand Cayman, we are getting data at the lower levels of the thunderstorm cloud. By the time you get over to the sister islands, you're looking in the middle and upper levels of the thunderstorm cloud, just because of the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah.
Okay? And that played out with the Cuban government. All right. Anyway, so that's that part. So there is no tool that is equivalent to the weather radar that can see the Cayman area to the level that we're seeing it with our radar. The Jamaican government's got a radar too, but again, we're on the outer reaches of that radar. Yeah. Our radar, we actually see, I believe, Kingston, Jamaica. But, I mean, seeing the quality of the data by that time is different. Okay. So the radar project was designed through the Caribbean Met organizations with the funding from the EU, joint funding between the EU and the Cayman Islands government, the bulk of which is the EU. However, the Cayman Islands government has skin in the game, as I said, and we had to put funds in it and what have you.
And I think, if I could interrupt you for a second, we want to give recognition to Mr. Colonel Gomez. So it's actually called the Colonel Gomez
correct.
Radar station, because he was the chief officer within the ministry that dealt with that at the time.
Yeah.
And the then Premier, Juliana O'Connor Connolly, was the person who was instrumental in naming it after
Correct.
Mr. Colonel Gomez as well. So I just wanted to get
Correct.
that. He and I are good buddies, worked for several years together.
Right. And so in terms of some of the local driving force, Mr. Colonel Gomez is the chief officer. Miss Julie is the premier at the time. And the head of the weather service at that time is the father of the National Weather Service, and that's Mr. Fred Zambula.
Right. And then we had Christina Rowlandson in the cabinet office who, because dealing with the European Union is not an easy task.
You should have heard the end part of that story. But anyway, so the radar was built, and actually a team of 3 officers were sent to Germany, where the radar was built. Out of those 3 officers, only one of those is still operational today, and that is actually Mr. Michael Carey. All right, and if memory serves me back, is that when the radar was initially being commissioned and stuff like that, Michael was working with CIA at that point, and he came over to the National Weather Service, and then in recent years, when they over the last year when they upgraded the radar, Michael had to go back to the manufacturing headquarters for more training and what have you. So when we are looking at our weather radar and whatever you're thinking about the weather radar when it's shut down and what have you, please understand that we have individuals trained at the highest level to deal with that weather radar whenever it has issues. Okay, so it's not as if we're an organization that does not have appropriately trained people to fix the radar and stuff like that. Okay, that being said, because the radar is so technical in nature, you still have to have the involvement of the manufacturer. All right. So when some of the major problems occur with the radar, a lot of the time it's Mr. Michael working with the manufacturer to try and get things working. All right. The Weather Service also has a lot of linkages with other regional bodies. I believe we were talking about Mr. O.C. Like we've got the National Hurricane Committee. Let's start with the National Hurricane Center, first of all. National Hurricane Center is a specialized center in running out of Miami, Florida. All of our forecasters are sent there for a 2-week forecasting course. Okay. So they go and they train and look at things, how the hurricane specialists see things. Okay, and look and see how their tools are. And sometimes, even when we get to the point where you've successfully gone through that training, there are so many other things that are going on in that building. For example, there's the coordination of the National Hurricane Hunter there as well. There is a Marine branch. And there's an aviation forecasting branch. Okay. So a lot of those kind of things are in there, and our forecasters can go and get extra expertise there. Beyond that, we also have the Regional Hurricane Committee. The Regional Hurricane Committee is for North America, South America, North, Central, and it's the northern section of South America as well as the Caribbean. Okay. And we are represented on that committee by Dr. Arlene Liang, who is the coordinating director for the Caribbean Meteorological Organization, but she's also our WMO representative as being the head of the British Caribbean Territories. Okay. However, because the National Weather Service in the Cayman Islands is the most advanced of those national weather services, usually one of the experts that she would carry to the Hurricane Committee used to be the director of the National Weather Service. Okay. Now, in recent years, that's been a little bit compromised in the sense that Mr. Powery, our chief meteorologist, has taken over the position of the coordinating, the chairman for the infrastructure committee for the region. All right. And what would happen is that they would need him to be present at the Regional Hurricane Committee meeting, and they didn't want both me and him to be off the island at the same time. So he ended up being much more in contact with the Regional Hurricane Committee.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you there so we can go to a commercial break. Okay. The conversation will continue. We keep extending. We'll probably be here until 12 o'clock, folks. That's a joke. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
CINWS parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through CINWS and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit cinws.ky today. CINWS, keeping Cayman covered.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Hi, this is Joey Hugh, Leader of the Opposition. On behalf of myself and the entire opposition, I extend heartfelt congratulations to Radio Cayman on your 50th anniversary. For 5 decades, you have served as a trusted voice for our people, informing, educating, and connecting our islands with integrity and dedication. Your commitment to public service, broadcasting, has strengthened our democracy and preserved our Caymanian identity. We honor this milestone and the many men and women who built and sustained this national institution over the years. Congratulations on your 50 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me for almost the entire show this morning the Director General of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, Mr. John TIBBETS. Mr. TIBBETS, sorry I had to interrupt you there to go to a commercial break, but we're back on track now.
Yeah, well, I think I was, what we were talking about is some of our international agencies that we deal with and what have you. And we mentioned the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida. We talked about the Regional Hurricane Committee. One of the big ones is the Caribbean Meteorological Organization. The Caribbean Meteorological Organization is a collection of about 16 member states across the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. And it's they're still attempting to add some extra organizations in there, so it is potentially growing further than that. And it's a coordinating type organization, but it's also an organization in which developments in technology and what have you comes through. The Caribbean Met Organization was started from an older agency way back in I think it was 1973, and signed off by our government and what have you. And it basically has 2 functioning arms. There's a third arm that hasn't necessarily functioned as well, but they've got their headquarters office in Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
They've got the Regional Training Center in Barbados, and the third one was supposed to be a funding arm for the organization. So the Caribbean Met Organization is the one that provided the majority of the scientific expertise for the design of the radar and the radar building. Okay? And part of the idea for them was you heard them talking about closing this black hole in the Northwest Caribbean, but that was also a black hole in what they developed, and that's the mosaic of weather radars across the Caribbean. All right, so you were there was the black spot there that you just couldn't see anything, and so that played into that whole scenario of providing this mosaic across the Caribbean. That's so the second arm, the Caribbean Institute. The Caribbean Institute represents perhaps the greatest and most diverse collection of meteorological type scientists, meteorological, climatological, and hydrological type scientists in the Caribbean. Okay. And so for that reason, a ton of things have been placed on their head. For example, they're the Regional Climate Office, they're the Regional Marine Office, they're the Regional Training Center, Calibration Office, bunches of different things is on their heads because of the level of expertise that they've got there. Okay? This is usually where we train our observers and forecasters. And this is where we also train our technical staff to calibrate meteorological equipment. Okay. From out of this, additionally, there's a couple other things that come into play, our organizations. There is WMO, the World Meteorological Organization, operating out of Geneva, Switzerland. And myself, former director, Mr. Fred Sambola, and Chief Meteorologist Kerry Parry have all been there to what they call the Executive Committee, which is a collection of high-level experts in meteorology to address issues. All right, and we also have in and around Washington, D.C., the National Center for Environmental Protection, I think it is. Not prediction is the last word letter. And we usually use that for training for our staff. And it's the training that you get there is outputs from weather models and converting it to a message and seeing how the models themselves see meteorology. Okay, so usually our forecasters go there for 4 months as part of their their development plan, as it were. All right. Okay. Other than that, we also have a lot of linkages through Caribbean Met Organization because we are all a number of our weather forecasters are listed as focal points. So whenever the World Meteorological Organization is looking at some matter, some area that they want to talk about or want to look into, they will reach out to some of the experts, and we would be defined as the expert that would provide feedback through surveys and what have you.
Okay. Recently, as a matter of fact, I think it was yesterday on The Buzz, the host, Ms. Catherine Miller, she had Mr. Michael Gale from CINWS on there.
Okay.
And we know that CRIF, the Caribbean Catastrophic Risk Facility, that was established and offers parametric insurance. And so CINWS is doing the same thing for home insurance as well as I think auto as well. Of course, the auto one wouldn't have anything to do with weather weather impacts, but certainly the home insurance part of it, would have as well. And if my memory serves me correctly, I believe that the data that they rely on is coming from the U.S. North American Weather Station organization. I believe. I could be wrong, and maybe someone who is watching it, or someone over at CINWS can correct me on this. But I'm not sure whether or not any reliance is placed upon the National Weather Service here as opposed to another regional organization, and whether or not in any way the National Weather Service here in the Cayman Islands has been approached by them in terms of providing whatever services that would be required where they would be making payouts to their clients.
Okay, so in last Pete's question, I was just talking to you about. I was talking to you about some of the organizations we deal with.
Mm-hmm.
The Caribbean Med organization, when they hold their annual meeting in December, interestingly enough, we bring along a number of regional experts or representatives from regional organizations. CRIFT is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, SEDEMA is another. ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Authority, is another. All right, I'm trying to remember who the other one was. It'll come to me. I know CARICOM is represented as well. So when you're talking about CRIFT, when they're doing their insurance policies and what have you, they're looking at risk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And when you're looking at risk, you're looking at how often a certain event is going to occur to cause damage, okay? And then relate it to a payout, all right? CRIFT is very interlocked with the Regional Training Center.
Okay.
And the regional bodies to provide them scientific data to determine some of their rates and what have you. Okay? I haven't necessarily heard from CINWS, okay? But I would think that that kind of data would be of value to them. Now, if you're getting it from the U.S., it depends on what they're getting from the U.S., okay? Getting return periods for high rainfall events for Miami is not the same as high rainfall events for Grand Cayman, okay? Damage from hurricanes and the frequencies of hurricanes. When a hurricane impacts a place, someplace up in the States, and how it impacts Grand Cayman is different, okay? And so, but it all depends, because in the grand scheme of things, in meteorology, there's a lot of sharing of data throughout the worldwide infrastructure of meteorology. So if they had reached out, let's say to the Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology, they would have a lot of our data, say, that would talk about frequency and how and impacts on the island in terms of weather events. So there are ways of getting data and stuff like that. The question you have to look at is the quality of the data and the source of the data.
Okay, we're going to take our last commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Babe, not tonight. You keep poking me and I need to be rested for meetings tomorrow.
What? I was almost asleep. That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about, not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
The Passport and Corporate Services Office is urging all residents to verify the validity of their travel documents and take steps to protect them ahead of the hurricane season, which starts the 1st of June. Residents are advised to check passport expiry date, verify entry requirements for their destination, apply for or renew passports and visas early, and make copies of passports and key documents and store them in waterproof containers. For more information, call 345-649-7678 or email passportandcorporate@gov.ky.
Sunday coming is Father's Day, so make plans now to tune in to Breeze Radio 7 p.m. Saturday for your Yesteryear Musical Special Father's Day edition. Music in honor of Father. It will be wonderful. Your Yesteryear Musical, Saturday evenings at 7 o'clock on Breeze Radio. Entertaining, enlightening, and inspirational. Topical with CI cultural and heritage flashbacks. And the wonderful music of yesteryear. From the Thomas Edison era to the recent past. Your Yesteryear Musical, Saturdays at 7 p.m. on Breeze Radio, 105.3 FM in Grand Cayman, and 91.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Be listening. History is always echoing on your Yesteryear Musical on Saturday evenings at 7 o'clock on Breeze Radio.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have Mr. John TIBBETS in the studio, his extended stay in the studio here. This morning as well, we have been talking about a variety of issues related to weather forecasting or weather station, many things. I want to give him the last 12 minutes that we have for him to cover anything that he wants to cover, and to, again, reflecting on his career and tenure within the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, as he is due to at least go into retirement fairly soon.
Well, it certainly has been an enjoyable career, challenging at times, and it's good to finally get certain things in place before you kind of ride off into the sunset, shall we say. Mm-hmm. Don't ride horses, but anyway, we'll figure that part out afterwards. One of the things that that is a little bit of a pet peeve and has become a bit more important over time has been the accuracy of the data that we have. Mm-hmm. I think I mentioned earlier, when you're talking about climate change and what have you, the highest regarded data is that of the National Weather Service. And that's because, first of all, there are strong linkages between the National Weather Service and international civil aviation. And because our data is so critical, and it's so critical to have absolutely accurate information for them. The framework for their calibration and accuracy testing of their equipment is very robust. Okay? Every year, their automatic weather station, every element of that automatic weather station is recalibrated. Okay? Now, for those of you who may have private automatic weather stations around your homes and stuff like that, please understand that I don't think you guys calibrate it to that extent, that often. Okay? It's fairly complicated. We've got a set of instruments to verify that all of our automatic weather station, all the data coming off the automatic is absolutely accurate.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, once the calibration has been completed, once we've confirmed that all the data, all the systems are working on the automatic weather station, we then have to take the calibration instruments and send them to a lab to make sure that they're accurate. All right?
Wow.
That's how serious it is. All right? And it's gotten to the point where, in fact, where even if the airport's authority was to change out one of their automatic weather stations or take it offline and install a new sensor, right away they have to have it recalibrated. Last year we had Hurricane Raphael in the Sister Islands. Okay? One of the huge problems aviation had over there was they recognized that they were going to have a major hurricane coming. So part of their policy was to take down their automatic weather stations. If you take down your automatic weather stations, then you have to get it reinstated. To reinstate it, you need to get it recalibrated. You don't have nobody in Cayman Rat that can calibrate the instruments. So it produced a huge pile of problems in Cayman Bracket for the aviation section. And it's becoming more and more critical each and every day in the field. And the Weather Service, because we have this close linkage with aviation, we have a tendency to embrace some of those quality controls that they have with our instruments. So like, for example, we may have an automatic weather station right now in Frank Sound by the school. That is in the process of being installed right now. And there may be not necessarily guidelines to say I have to be so strict with the calibrations of that instrument there. However, because we in the Weather Service want to have high quality data, all right, to show to provide to the Cayman Islands people and to put into our database and to help climate studies and what have you, we're sticking very closely with the aviation sector, as it were. So that's kind of the pet peeve that's kind of come down over the years. It's changed quite a bit over the years. Don't remember the calibration being so often in the early years, but certainly in the last 10, 15 years or so like that, it's really been up there quite a bit and what have you as the world of aviation is being policed. In terms of the Weather Service, I can comfort you and tell you that there's a lot of expertise, young expertise in the Weather Service and great leadership. And they've got fantastic support from the Cabinet Office, working very closely with Hazards Management. You've got a very, very nice setup going on for you right now. And it should give you all the confidence to rely on the information coming out of the National Weather Service.
Okay. And what's on the horizon for you?
On the horizon for me, I'm dying to get back to Saturday playing chess with kids and other experts. I'm tired of playing online chess games. I actually have 110 chess boards at home.
Wow.
I'm a fanatic with chess. And some youth work and prison work with the church and stuff like that. It's possible. I'll have some conversations with church pastor and what have you, and try to become a little bit more involved in those particular areas. On the other hand, the family's got I've got some land over in Cayman Brac. I might be going to farming, so who knows right now.
Yes, yes. Well, we certainly want to wish you, all the best in your future endeavors as well. And it has been, a pleasure. I've had the opportunity to interact with you, not only, in the studio here, but also in your capacity as the Director General of the National Weather Service as well. And on behalf of people of the Cayman Islands, I want to say thank you, for your sterling service, your commitment to the field, of your expertise, but also in helping to forge an organization that throughout the years now we have seen the progression within the organization, and certainly I'm sure that the commitment to succession planning, has a lot to do with that, and with your confidence now that you can tell us that the organization is being left in young and capable hands, as well. So really want to thank you for your service to the people of the Cayman Islands, but not only the Cayman Islands, but the region as well, in terms of the work that you did, you performed with regional organizations as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So, folks, few reminders here that Radio Cayman will be bringing you live coverage of the state opening of Parliament starting today at 2 p.m., where Her Excellency Governor Jane Owen will be delivering the traditional throne speech. And I'm reading it the way it is here. The broadcast can also be heard on Breeze 93.9 FM. I know 105.3 FM has always been there as well, so I'm just reading it the way it is on the announcement here. And, Mr. TIBBETS, also I want to wish you a Happy Father's Day when it, comes along as well, on Monday.
You missed the birthday, was last weekend.
Oh, yeah, but I did mention it on our birthday shout-outs as well. I did mention that on our birthday shout-outs as well. So I want to thank all of our listeners, those of you who sent in questions and comments as well. I also want to remind you, I haven't had an opportunity to do this in a long time, since we've been going right up to the 10 o'clock hour. But I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I urge you to extend a helping hand to them, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want, or even those who crave. I also urge you to continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Don't forget to join Mr. Charles Glidden Challo at 12:15 for Talk Today. All of you out there, have a Happy Father's Day when it comes along as well. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to yard. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.